All right, today we are going to talk about a new product from Simrell called the FMJ. What this is a copper sleeve that goes over a cap that you already own. And it basically is a storage unit for heat. So it's not going to really make the cap hotter, but what it will do is the way that you heat it will stay longer. It's a really great product, only $10. I see this as a no-brainer. It really puts the Dynavap where I think it should be. This is the way, I no longer feel rushed when the click happens. You don't have to spin. That is one of the big things now, is you can actually just leave the torch in place. So you know what, let's go ahead and just show you what this does. So the way I do it is I take it and I set the copper jacket so the S is the right way. Take your cap, I line the digger outer with where the S is, and I just fit it in at an angle like that. If it feels a little loose, just give it a little pinch. You don't want to bend it too much. These things, they do get really tight. So, then you just slide it in like that. Give it a little push. Then I use my thumbs to just get it up over the hump there. To get it off, I found that just prying it open a little bit with my thumbs, making it a little loose and just sliding it off and then closing it down again is the best way. All right, so let's do that again. So you just set it down. Make sure the S is lined up so it's going to be down on the digger outer. That way when it's on a magnet, it's legible. And then I just squeeze like this, take my thumbs and just kind of slide it, get it all seated. If it feels a little loose, you can always just give it a little pinch there. And what's really nice about this is the way that the captivations now interface with the 5-fin titanium. You kind of just are able to screw it on and off, and it, even though it's heavy, when you have it tight enough and you use it with a 5-fin, it feels very secure. It does go over. I would be a little careful using this on an anodized tip. You don't want to scratch them up. So just make sure it's nice and tight, because it is a heavy cap now. So you want to make sure that it doesn't fall off. So yeah, and it still stands on the magnet. Let's get this full. Just screw the cap back on. And I'm just going to use a single flame torch, Eagle lighter torch. And basically what I do is I just point it at the S, and I don't want to say it glows, but it will polish or make the part that you're pointing the torch at a little shinier than the rest. And you kind of want that little circle that it makes to be the size of the S. And this is going to be a slow and low heat up. You can move upwards on the cap to get a lower temp extraction. 1 click, 2 click. Really great hit. It was still flavorful, very full, and now it hasn't down clicked yet, so I can go again. Just as pleasant as the first one. And you can see You can see here the spot that I'm talking about. The copper does discolor a little bit from use. I mean, like all caps, it patinas. The copper just patinas a little more aggressively than the rest, but I don't really think that's a big deal. What I do like is if I was to use it on one of my fancier caps, like the 222 cap, I would feel more comfortable torching the heck out of that thing now, because I could use the cap as like a protection. That way, if down the line I wanted to trade that cap or just wanted it looking new, like always, the copper jacket is a buffer now, you know, because there are some tips that I have that only are induction heater, or that I'm very specific about the way that I torch it because I don't want it to look, you know, dirty, just like any other cap. And the copper is going to be really, really good as just a protection layer, especially if you take it off by prime. And there, I don't know if you guys heard it. There are the two clicks, the down clicks that happened right there. So that was pretty long. I'd say that was, when I was doing my testing earlier, it was about 30 to 40 seconds on a heat up, about a minute and 30 seconds before the cool down clicks, and around 2 minutes before I could comfortably touch the cap. And that was without putting it on a magnet or anything. That was just holding it. So it does retain the heat a lot longer than a Dynavap would. As I was mentioning, now you don't have to feel rushed, especially if you are hitting some caps with someone that doesn't necessarily know how the Dynavap operates. You can take time to show them where the airport is and all that stuff without feeling rushed that you gotta do it before the cooldown click. So now that this is cooled down a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the cap and show you guys the ABV. So I probably could have gone a little darker. The more you hit it as it's hot, it does increase the amount of extraction that you get. But for me personally, this is where I like to be. This is a good place for me. I don't really push it to that blackness that some people do. I just like a nice dark coffee brown color. So I'm really happy with this. It's been an amazing experience. Real change up for the Dynavap. This is just another awesome thing out of Simrell, who's just killing it right now. Yeah, for $10, this is an absolute no-brainer if you use a torch for a Dynavap. Great hits, good flavor, easy to use. I like the fact that you can put it on caps that you already own. Yeah. So that's, I mean, I guess we can take it off again, just to show you how easy it is now that it's cooled down. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, and then you just bend it a little shut again to make it tight. And there you are. On and off all day. Any cap you want to do. So if you want to change up your experience and you have a particular setup you like doing, easy. I did use it with the Citadel Flat Flame. Also works really good. I like using this outside because the way that this lines up with the captivation, using this, you don't have to be as specific with the torch anymore. You know, you have more air room. This is a good buffer for, you know, people that are learning how to use a vape cap and, you know, need a little bit of wiggle room versus the cap, which is, you know, kind of particular and needs to be heated a certain way. And that wraps up the FMJ. Really awesome product. $10. No brainer. Stay lifted.